Talk about madness. If anyone had gone stark raving mad, it was Piggy Beast. He thought it was a lovely idea to go chasing the hens, so he charged forward on the heels of the cockerel, grunting loudly. Emil was completely baffled. He couldn't understand what was going on. Piggy Beast's grunts were loud and fierce. He seemed to be enjoying himself, but Emil could see that there was something wrong with his legs. They wobbled all over the place, and he seemed to have no control over them. He would certainly have fallen over like the cockerel if he hadn't given one of those little jumps, like Emil had taught him, every time he was at the point of collapsing. But the little jumps seemed to help him keep his balance. The poor hens, they'd never seen a pig behaving like this before, and they fled for their lives. Their terrified cackles were pitiful to hear, poor things. It was bad enough that their cockerel had gone mad, but a ferocious pig with glaring red eyes bounding after them, well, that was too much. Yes, it was too much. Emil knew about being so terrified that you died of fright, and then he suddenly saw one hen after the other collapse and lie motionless. All the grass was covered with dead hens, lying there white and still. It was a terrible sight. Emil was in despair and began to cry. What would his mother say when she found her hens like this? Lame Lotta, his own hen, lay there too, in a dead white lump, and Emil sobbed as he picked her up. There was no sign of life in her. She was quite dead. Poor lame Lotta. That was the end of her and all her lovely eggs. There was nothing Emil could do except give her a decent burial as quickly as possible. He could already see the inscription on her tombstone. Here rests lame Lotta, frightened to death by Piggy Beast. Emil was really furious with Piggy Beast. He was going to lock the monster in the pigsty and never let him out again. But before that he decided to put lame Lotta in the woodshed. He carried her there very carefully and laid her on the chopping block where she could wait for her burial, poor Lotta. When he came out of the woodshed, he saw that the cockerel and Piggy Beast were eating the cherries again. Well, they were fine ones. They frightened the hens to death, and then they went calmly back to the feast as if nothing had happened. At least the cockerel could have had the decency to mourn a little when he'd killed all his wives in one fell swoop. But he didn't seem the slightest bit upset. The cherry feast never really got going again, because the cockerel fell over immediately, and Piggy Beast fell over soon after him. Emil was so mad at them, he didn't care if they were alive or dead, and anyway, he could see that they weren't as dead as the hens. The cockerel clucked weakly and moved its legs about, and Piggy Beast lay there half asleep, grunting hoarsely and trying to open his eyes now and then. There were still lots of cherries lying on the ground, and Emil tried one. They didn't taste the way cherries usually do, but the truth was, they weren't all that bad. Whatever made his mother think of burying such delicious cherries? Oh yes, Mamma. He'd have to go and tell her about the disaster. He didn't really feel like doing it at this moment, though. He ate a few more cherries while he thought about it, and then a few more. No, he didn't want to tell her just yet. By this time, Emil's mother had prepared supper in the kitchen for the harvesters. Soon Emil's father, Alfred, Lena, and Crosamaya came home, all very tired and hungry after a long day's work. They sat around the kitchen table, but Emil's place was empty. And Emil's mother remembered she hadn't seen her son for some time. "Lena, go and see if Emil's out with Piggy Beast," said Emil's mother. Lena left and was away for quite a while. When she finally came back, she stood in the doorway, waiting until they were all looking at her. She wanted to have everyone's attention while she told them the dreadful tale.